Hello drummers and musicians and music lovers everywhere. Tim Connolly back at you. I'm here with my drum kit, Yamaha Recording Custom Kit. And I decided to sit by the kit today to do my countdown of Rush's top 10 albums as a tribute to Neil. I've always been a huge Rush fan. I've always loved Neil's playing. So I thought it was fitting to do this by my beloved Yamaha Recording Custom Drum Kit. So let's take a look at this list. So number 10 is Grace Under Pressure, which has some nice songs on it. They went through a period in the 90s where I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of their albums, even in the 2000s as well. Not as big a fan of a lot of their material, but I did like this album. Red Sector A, The Enemy Within, Distant Early Warning, some very great songwriting on this album, and Neil's talents shine through not just in drumming but in songwriting on this album. Second one, we go way back to the second album, Fly By Night. Incredible album, of course, with the title track and also a few other songs on there, By Tor and the Snow Dog and Anthem. I love that song, Anthem, killer. Number 8, A Farewell to Kings. This is where Rush really starts to show some serious talent. Xanadu, Cinderella Man, of course, Closer to the Heart, which was one of their biggest hits. It was a great album. Number 7, an album that actually did not do well and almost ended their career, but Rush fans who are hardcore fans love it, Caress of Steel. Bastille Day, I love that song. Lakeside Park, The Necromancer, these are killer tunes. I mean, Lakeside Park is actually a real park in St. Catharines, which is not far from where I live here in Hamilton, Ontario, because Neil was born in Hamilton and grew up in St. Catharines, which is just a stone throw away from here. So that song has a lot of meaning just because of the fact that it's fairly local. Number 6, Hemispheres. Killer. I love Hemispheres. The Trees, La Villa Strangiata, Cygnus 1 and 2. I love all those tunes. They're all great songs, and of course the musicianship and the drumming is top notch. Number 5 is a live album, Exit Stage Left. Now this album was tough for me to rank at number 5, to be totally honest, because this album had such a huge influence on me. That drum solo in the middle section of YYZ, that changed everything for me. That when I heard that drum solo, I think I was about 15, 16 years old, and I was absolutely blown away by that drum solo, especially that little cowbell part in the middle where he goes ding 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 ding. That little cowbell thing, I can't remember it exactly, but awesome. Number 4, 2112. Had to be on the list, right? And it was in the lower part for sure. That song, 2112, I mean, that puts Rush on the map. That's one of their signature tunes. There's also Passage to Bangkok, Overture, Fall 2, Grand Finale, which is like a extremely long song. There's 7 parts to it, from Overture being 1 and Grand Finale being the 7th part. That whole first side of the album, killer. Now we get into the top 3 here. Signals. Signals was another album very much like Exit Stage Left that really set the tone for me. Subdivisions is probably my second favorite Rush song of all time. And I also love New World Man, Chemistry. Signals is, the reason Signals made the top 3 is because I like every song on the album, to be totally honest. I love all the songs on that album. Number 2, Permanent Waves. This has got some classic Rush on it. Spirit of the Radio, Free Will, Jacob's Ladder. I mean, that album was killer. That was another one of those albums that changed things for me. Especially Free Will. I love Spirit of Radio, but Free Will was a tune where I just thought, that middle section where there's a breakdown in the tune and Neil goes into almost a linear pattern in the drum groove. I remember thinking at the time, I eventually figured it out, but at the time, what the hell is he playing? It was one of those moments, you know. I've had a few of those moments with Neil where it's like, what the heck is he playing? And one of my journeys as a drummer and as a drum teacher has been figuring out all of Rush's stuff. I've also had the privilege of figuring it out to the point where I performed it, because I have played in some Rush tribute bands, mainly subbing in Rush tribute bands, because I haven't actually been a permanent member of any Rush tribute band, but I have played in Rush tribute bands, and what a joy it is to play Neil's stuff. Very difficult. New World Man was so difficult to figure out how to play. I have to admit that it took me quite a long time and a lot of practicing to get that tune. So we are down to number one. Number one. That is top dog. Of course, it's Moving Pictures. I think that's a lot of people's number one. Unbelievable song. Tom Sawyer, YYZ, Red Barchetta, Limelight, Camera Eye. These are all fantastic tunes. The thing about these top three albums, Signals, Permanent Waves, and Moving Pictures, the one thing they all have in common for me is I like every song on every album. It's hard these days, or any time for that matter, to like every song on an album. Oftentimes you'll buy back in the day when we used to buy albums, obviously it's totally changed now, but back in the day, you buy an album, you might like 2-3 songs, but to buy an album and go, I like all, 12 songs or however many songs are on the album, that's rare. But what a wonderful thing that you buy the album and the whole thing is fantastic. Well, that's what happened with Moving Pictures in particular. And Moving Pictures is absolutely my number one. That another tune I was discussing earlier about how songs are hard to learn, Limelight. Very difficult song also to learn how to play. It seems easy, but Neil is so good at just making it look easy that when you try to play it, you think, oh, no problem, I'll play in Limelight, no problem. Then you go and try to play it. First of all, I lifted it and wrote out all the drum parts, and then I tried playing it, and I was like, whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought, which is an incredible credit to Neil. So anyways, I do have two honorable mentions that I want to mention. The two honorable mentions, another live album, All the World's a Stage, which has Lakeside Park, 2112, In the Mood, some really great songs on there. It's their early live album, so it's obviously they're playing a lot of their earlier material. And second honorable mention is Power Windows, which was actually not a bad record. Not a bad record. I like the song The Big Money. I like the song Mystic Rhythm. It's not an album where I like every song on the album necessarily, but I like a lot of the songs on the album. So those are my two honorable mentions. So quickly, number 10, Grace Under Pressure. Number 9, Fly By Night. 8, Farewell to Kings. 7, Caress of Steel. 6, Hemispheres. 5, Exit Stage Left. 4, 2112. 3, Signals. 2, Permanent Waves. And number 1, of course, Moving Pictures. So let me know. I mean, what you think of the list. Everybody's going to have a different opinion, of course. This is just my personal opinion of my favorite Rush albums. All right. We'll talk soon. Stay safe. And I'll be back with another list again soon. See ya.